Excuse me. Greetings, greetings, and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch and be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Excuse me. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench, which is right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, but just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful. Fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box over there, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, by the way, you only can make these comments or questions during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And please consider subscribing and also share the videos, comments on the videos. All these activities help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please also consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. I mean, $4.99 is like going to Starbucks and getting one of their fancy coffees or lattes or whatever they have. And if you do that just once a month, that would help us out. Plus, when you're a member, you have unlimited access to member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for just members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I host these the Stunthangar Video Hangouts every Monday and Friday evening on his channel. But if you want to get in touch with me, you can go to my channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL. And you get a chance to see me fly, and that's at the Nats. It was on a big stage, and I was flying a very beautiful plane. And check it out. You might enjoy it. Hopefully you like it, and subscribe. That'd be helpful. And if you have any questions or comments about the show, please direct them to my channel, and then I'll be notified, and that way I'll be able to respond to you quickly. If you have a comment or question toward me on this show, unless it's during the live stream, I really wouldn't get it because I don't go back into Sparky's channel until the next live stream I do, which is usually the following Monday or the following Friday. Anyways, I'm just getting over what I had last show, which was Monday. Hopefully by next Monday it'll be all gone. So just bear with me. Just give me a little bit of grace if I don't sound very well or I'm coughing and hacking. Anyways, hey, without any further ado, I'm going to post the link now at Stunthangar Forum, and I hope I answered all your questions. If I didn't answer everything, go ahead and go and ask me during the live stream. I do get asked from people from time to time, how do I get into the Zoom meeting, the live stream? Well, we post the link at stunthangar.com/SMF, but you can't see the link or the place called At the Bench unless you are a registered member of the forum. So to register, like I said earlier, you just need to use your real first and last name with a space between them and a valid email address. And Sparky, when he gets around to it, he will approve you. And then you can go in there and get the link and come on into the meeting. I'm going to head over to what I call the control panel. I see there's some people already there in the chat box. Thank you very much. Hopefully we have a really good show. Hopefully you'll find out what people's been doing. Hopefully some people had a chance to do some flying or work in their shop. And let's see how this show goes. I'm looking forward. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. Next weekend, I'm going to head up to Los Angeles County and go to a fun fly. You know, no official flights. A bunch of us are going to get together and hang out and have some fun, eat some food. And I'm really looking forward to that. I wonder what's going on. It says, reading this message, I got an error. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Good. Did you get my last thing?
I did. Boy, it's pretty. I haven't seen it on my computer. I only seen it on my phone. But very pretty. Really liked it. Didn't I reply?
I'm not sure because I turned it off later. It is.
Okay. Yeah, I just been ripping and running today and had a chance to run home and get something to eat. And here I'm getting ready to stream the show. I'm still getting this error message saying that my not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth streaming. So people might experience buffering. Oh, man. Sorry about that. Well, right now we have 10 concurrent viewers, 8 likes. Looks like Tom Ramel said like provided, and Gary Sinclair, who's a member of our YouTube channel, and also the monitor on the chat. He provided the like. That makes him a VIP. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. And then he went ahead and said hi, Tom. Then Jack Snavely, who says he's also a member of our YouTube channel. I can tell by their moniker next to their names, by the way. And so Sparky and I can see who are supporting patrons, okay? Hello all around the world. He has some airplane stickers and some other emojis. He goes, been busy with my chickens a lot and haven't done any flying. Okay, Jack, I hear you. And then Dennis Adamison is also a member of our YouTube channel. He says he gave us a like. Thank you very much. And Mark Gerber came in. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. How are you doing,
Charles? Good.
I see you have your hand raised digitally, or you gave me a thumbs up digitally. I see that. Very cool. Thank you. And then Ed, thanks for coming back. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm glad to be able to do it.
I appreciate it. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, there'd be no show. I'm telling you, you guys, your importance. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you to come in the show, because I am not that good and that talented or that entertaining to carry a 2.25 hour show about model aviation, you know. So I really appreciate you guys coming in. So Gary, you haven't been working in your shop or been doing any flying, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No, just been working on your pictures.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
So how about you, Mark? You been making any progress on your Bearcat? And
Oh yeah, I'm working on the control surfaces now. Getting ready to finish them and then clear cut everything and then put everything together.
Very good.
Mark, how do you get the canopy looking nice and clear again?
You spray it with clear.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So the way it looked the last time, if you spray clear, you're good. Okay.
Yep.
I was going to mention micro mesh that we use on aircraft, but that's nice that you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I've got some of that plexiglass polish too,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll, smooth out problems in your canopy. But
Yeah.
I used 1500 grade sandpaper to buff it. And so when, that fine of a sandpaper grade, when you spray clear over it,
Right.
it'll be just fine.
Ah, interesting. Never tried that.
Well, I discovered it on my P40. I remember the guy's name in LA that told me about it. But I used what's that stuff called? PETG, I think, the material to make canopies. And I molded it with that. And then when I painted the dope on it to make the frame, the dope wouldn't stick. It peeled off. And I was kind of beside myself trying to figure out what I was going to do.
Right.
And then I was told, get some really fine sandpaper and work it over carefully and then paint it with your dope and make the frame and then spray clear over it and it'll be fine. And it was.
Well, I'll have to experiment.
I wonder if that was Bob Whiteley. Did Bob Whiteley tell you that?
No, it was, oh shoot. Guy from LA that makes really nice classic planes.
Or it's quite a few that do that. I know Ray Firkins was in LA for a while. He moved away.
Oh,
Was it Ray Firkins, maybe?
No, not Ray. I know Ray really well. But it was,
Well,
I posted on Stunthangar and the guy, he responded on Stunthangar. That's how I found out about it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys I could keep mentioning. I probably keep bringing up the wrong person.
I got some pictures here, but let's wait and see if Keith shows up. He hasn't seen my Bearcat.
But just to clarify something for me, Ed, you mentioning putting up mesh. I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about for the canopy. What do you mean?
If you look at micro mesh, it's used to repair windshields. And so basically it's a series of very, very fine cloths. And also sometimes they have a little bit of liquid. And we would just use that to keep polishing a defect out of a windshield or a side window. And then just keep going and going until you get it out. But what he's doing is far easier and stuff. Yeah, it would take forever and that, but I was just curious and that. But yeah, look up micro mesh. It's called micro mesh kit. And let me get a picture real quick.
All right. Excuse me. Let me welcome Brad LaPointe. Thank you, Brad, for coming in. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. And to our viewing audience, I'm getting error messages from YouTube saying that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As a result, viewers will experience buffering. It's the first time I've seen this. So I usually power cycle my router before I start the program, but I have teenagers at home using devices and laptops and tablets and phones. So it might be because I didn't do that this evening. I ran out of time.
Here you go, Charles, if you can see that.
Let me make it big here so I can share with the audience. Let's see here. Oh, okay, interesting. Micro mesh. All right.
Yeah.
And so you would just rub that till you the aircraft. Use that
Yeah.
for,
Yeah,
so
I was just
the real glass canopy, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they mean?
Yeah.
They mean glass or something else?
they're acrylic. Yeah.
Oh,
I was just curious, what everybody uses. And so I didn't know if it was something that is used or could be used. But he's certainly doing a far easier way.
Yeah. I did something similar too. I was working on my Strega. I modified it and put a new canopy on it, and it was all dull. And I was asking how to fix it, and someone told me to use sandpaper. and painted with clear. And so I just scuffed it up, and it was just almost opaque. And I was thinking, oh man, did I ruin it? And then when I sprayed it with clear, it became crystal clear. I was amazed. Yeah, it was kind of like one of those things that doesn't make any sense, but
Yep.
That works. I have a couple other comments in the chat box. Tom Ramel says, "Hi, Gary, happy birthday."
Thank you.
And you turned 80 years old. What was that, Tuesday?
The 18th, yeah, Tuesday.
Very good. And Tony Sambendetto, he gave us a like. And Bryce Rackley, he said, and he's also a member of our channel. He says, "Hello, all. Working today, Saturday here in New Zealand, raining in Auckland, so no good to be out flying anyways. Just made a Venturi on an OS 40 FP using RC needle valve." Very good, Bryce. Bryce, I wonder if I met you at Brodax in 2016.
That would have been Bryce Gibson.
Oh, Bryce Gibson. Okay. I knew I met at Bryce. And I knew he was out of, now he's from New Zealand, right? That Bryce.
Yep.
I met us of all places that there. And I'm Stuart Morrison.
Right.
Thanks for being, Stuart. How you doing?
Good.
And let me welcome Keith Trossel. Hey, Keith, how are you, Keith?
Okay.
Good, great. So, who was I talking with? I was talking with Ed, and we was talking about canopies. And Mark, you had a comment about
I just
Keith.
looked it up and it was Bob Harness is the one that told me about.
Oh, Bob Harness. Yeah, I've met Bob Harness several times. Yeah, nice couple. Actually, his wife is usually there when I meet Bob. His wife is there as well. Which is nice to have your wife come out and support you at contests, right? I think it is.
I've never had that experience.
Yeah, it's been rare for me too, Mark. But one time I had my wife and kids, and my kids were cheering me on, and another competitor said, "That's not fair." So my kids started cheering everybody. They were really little. They were just jumping around, just having all kinds of fun. More fun than what should be legal.
No, we've been married for 48 years. My wife has never been to a contest.
Yeah, it's my friend Joe Mata, he just started flying inverted, so I'm thinking hopefully his wife will come out and see him fly. I don't think she has. I haven't there when she's been there. Maybe he's gone out with Stu to see fly, but I don't know. And then Tom Ramel says, "Charles, the YouTube feed looks okay so far. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that." And Bryce, he responded. He goes, "That's correct. I would love to come over to Brodax someday." Okay, so I guess he's saying you're correct, Brad. That I wasn't that same Bryce that I met at Brodax. So, Mark,
Hey, Keith is here. You want to see Bearcat pictures now?
Yeah.
Yeah, see how important you are, Keith.
Hey,
Yeah.
We were waiting for you to show up. So
I never knew.
Thank God that you showed up, Keith.
I want to see the canopy.
well, it's not done yet, so it's still
Oh,
haze.
Oh, look at that.
oh yeah. What a difference.
No, this is before.
Okay.
This was last week, and then here, Keith, I got my 4-blade propeller out the other day and put the motor in it and went out and took a picture just to see what it looked like.
That's neat. Where'd you get the prop?
It was I got it off eBay, but it's an electric propeller for a ARF Skyraider RC.
Okay.
It's got like a 62-inch wingspan as the airplane. It's a really cool looking airplane. And I don't think it's available anymore, but it was company HSD Skyraider. It's a 63-inch wingspan. I think they made them about 10 or 15 years ago. And anyway, this propeller was like a spare part. So I snapped it up as soon as I saw it at 16 inches in diameter, which is just about right for the Bearcat. But it makes a good display, but it won't fly that way.
Yeah.
And here's the head-on view.
Looks mean, man.
That's what it's supposed to look like, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It looks mean.
And here's what it looked like when you're really flat with propeller.
All right.
And then right now I'm finishing the control surfaces. So here are the flaps, the elevators, and the rudder. I'm farther ahead with the rudder because I sort of used that as a guinea pig. Did that first. And here's that. I'm starting to do the ink lines now. So that's the trim tab that I painted today.
Very
Ink
good.
lines don't show up very well on the dark blue.
Well, that's all right. I've never been a big fan of ink lines, and especially Bearcats. If you look at them from any distance at all, you don't see many of the panel lines at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Looks good.
So I kind of decided I would just mark the panel lines for things that move during flight, like trim tabs and landing gear doors and oil cooler doors. So I don't have a lot of ink lines I'm going to be doing, but and I used the method I heard you mention, Keith, about taping using really fine tape. This is a 1 millimeter tape that I found. And I just tape it, and then I go along with masking tape, plastic stuff. It's really nice, to curve around edges and things. And I do it, butt it up against both sides.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I take the 1 millimeter tape out of the middle, and then I paint it. And I did this with a brush, which I think is a really good way to do it, because doing with this airbrush, you have to do a lot of masking.
Yeah. I got some 1/64 inch tape that helps with that.
Oh, wow. Where'd you get that? So here's what I used. This is 1 millimeter stuff I got off eBay or off of Amazon.
I ordered it, I don't know, from some office supply thing, I think. For chart.
Okay.
For chart.
Chart tape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have a brand name on it, just got a couple of the reels of the tape, and there's no brand name on it.
Anyway, that's where I am now. So getting close.
Very good. Now, when you have your flying prop, you're going to paint that flying prop?
Oh, maybe I probably will. I'll see. I'll have to do some flying with the plane and then decide what kind of prop is working well. And if I get one that works well and stick with it, then I can paint one black and put yellow tips on it.
I had a black carbon fiber prop on my Bearcat, so, and for a while it had yellow tips on it.
What I'd really like to find is a 4-blade, but I don't know if there's even one available and how well it would work.
What engine is in it?
Super Tiger 60. Anyway, that's the current status of the Gerber Bearcat. This is the picture I like the best of it.
I like
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it looks like a real full-scale aircraft.
It does.
That stance.
Yeah.
Looks menacing.
I haven't sprayed it with clear yet, so the canopy's still frosted back here.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to last week, seeing.
Yeah. So there we go.
Very good. Thank you, Mark. And let me welcome Carl
Yep.
Reed. I'm glad you're feeling better, Carl. I'm glad you're in. Thanks for coming in. And then Howard Rush. Hey, Howard, how are you?
Okay,
Nice.
And what are you doing?
I'm making plaques for the Las Vegas contest.
All right. Well, you going to personalize any of them?
Well, I asked Ruben, he has the best Tampa airplane. And I suggested instead we say Top Dog. See, Top Gun, Top Dog, it fits together.
Yeah.
But he wasn't having it.
I mean, it might be your airplane, so it makes sense to have Top Dog. Let me go ahead and welcome Mark Wise. Thank you, Mark, for coming in. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Fantastic.
Mark,
And let me welcome Dennis Adamison. Hey, Dennis, how are you?
Terrific. How about you?
Doing good. Doing
Looks
good.
like we got a full house already. It's looking
Yeah, looks like
good.
we it's 11. We have 11 people in here. So that's great. Appreciate it. That's awesome.
Mhm.
And we have people in the chat box, and we have people from New Zealand, and I'm not sure where Jack Snavely's from. Jack Snavely, where are you from, Jack? But yeah, so it's looking good for Friday night. Getting locked and loaded. So I went out flying today. I was anticipating making some strides and having a blast. I had purchased some that PET G material, made some trim tabs, and put them on each inboard and outboard wingtip. I was ready to adjust it to really, and then set the field up, put the cones out, got my plane out there, and got the motor running, and heading out toward the center of the circle. And Joe gets my attention, Joe Mata, and the engine is basically getting loose. And I was like, huh. So I squeezed the fuel line, shut the motor off, and I could start to wiggle the engine bearers inside the fuselage.
Oh,
I mean,
geez.
it was an old plane. It was given to me, but it just seemed like it just went south all of a sudden. It's nothing big deal. It's a P40 profile ARF, but I was just like gutted, just like gutted, And it's like, well, it is what it is.
Well,
So-
Charles, we're supposed to get an inch or two of snow here tonight in Colorado, so enjoy your nice weather.
Oh, speaking of weather, I think I got a suntan today. You might not notice, but it's I could see it in the mirror, and I did get some sun today. It was like 94, 95 degrees. 94 degrees.
Yeah, actually, today I got one light in and I was done. I didn't need to go anymore because of the heat.
I know that your audio is messed up, Carl, but basically he got one flight in, and he was maybe the heat was getting to him. We all weren't used to this heat. So it was a hot day, and Joe Mata, he flew his he got one flight on his Banshee, and it didn't fly the same as it flew Monday, which was concerning. It just flew totally different. Come to find out, he had two hinges that had broken at the busted clean off right at the barrel in his elevator. So that might have been the problem. So we just basically camped out under a shade for a while and talked about, kind of like how we do here in this hangout, So, but we're excited about going to Los Angeles next Saturday, excuse me. The Knights of the Round Circle are hosting a fly-in. That's going to be April 29th. So if you are interested in coming by and having some fun, please check it out. I'm expecting to have a good time and a good turnout and just have fun. No official flights, but just have fun and fellowship, flying control line, whether you want to fly combat or I think, I'm not sure if they're going to have the speed circle open, but it should be a fun event. And so Joe, myself, and Carl are going to drive up next Saturday, and hopefully we will have something to talk about Monday. And Ed, you raised your hand. Let me go ahead and acknowledge you. Ed, go ahead.
Yeah, this is in reference to Keith talking about the wind coming off the aircraft when it's running, how you feel it on the right side.
Oh,
And
great.
so, you know, it was in reference to P factor. So I did find an article from flying school, and it basically has there, it says, the high-speed rotation of propeller gives a corkscrew or spiraling rotation to the slipstream. The high propeller speeds and low forward speeds of the motion of the plane at takeoffs, approaches, or power on stalls. The spiraling rotation is very compact, exerts a strong side force on the vertical tail surfaces. So it's like we said, you get that spiral effect. So we have it on the big ones, we'd have it on the small ones, but you know, I can see where he's coming from in regards to that getting that sensation that it's coming off to the side. So I knew I'd saw something on it, and I looked it up and just thought I would close the loop on that one from last week.
I appreciate that, Ed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Does anybody else do any flying or work in the shop they want to talk about?
Oh, been dabbling away here, a little of this, a little of that, but not really anything worth showing off or anything like that. But working
look
on
at
2
this.
projects at a time isn't a good idea. So,
He's got the paintball gun out.
Yeah, that's 2 projects simultaneously. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Ed.
what was that? Paintball? Somebody said.
Yep.
It
Oh,
looks,
wow.
oh, look at that.
And there's a bullseye.
How cool is that?
I had the RC version of an ARF kit,
Mhm.
and so I liked this plan, but it was for an 049. So I increased it to 40-inch wingspan, the Brodak power system, and it's had a test flight. It flies pretty nice. I just got to see what kind of speed, but I wanted something that the kids might, you know, grab their attention at the
Mhm.
events. So
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
That is nice. What is the model?
I believe it's called a Mercury Mamba, basically European
Okay.
Very nice.
monocoque.
Really?
Yeah,
That's fabulous.
and it took a while.
I was gonna say it'd be a lot of fun cutting out all those paint splotches in Monaco.
Yeah.
So
I traced everything, then I reduced them to try to make it look appropriate.
yeah,
And
bigger,
then I had
smaller,
to
whatever.
transfer
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
color to monocoque.
You need a cricket cutter.
Yeah.
You know what those are, right?
Yeah.
No.
Final.
The cutter controls.
The crickets.
Okay.
You can download a file into it and cut out any kind of pattern you want.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was one of the things going on. So I want to fly it again as soon as the wind stops so much.
Yeah.
And that have either had weather or wind.
Ed, is that going to be available to a good friend of yours in August in West
Oh,
Virginia?
you bet. You bet. And I've got three spare ring rats.
All right.
Yeah. Test flown, got the balance right on them. So
Thank
yeah,
you. Sir.
it's all available.
Good deal.
Yeah. And just he's referring to the Youth Aviation Expo that Mark and a bunch of guys helped me out with. About 10 guys come in from out of state, and we show kids model aviation and how it can turn into aviation jobs
Cool.
and stuff. So
That sounds great.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, we're very lucky to have Mark and the other guys that have come in, and two other Pampa members from West Virginia are there.
Yep.
They've already confirmed everything, so we're making progress.
It's a great 2 days, Ed.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Yeah. What, 680 kids in 2 days last year?
yeah, I know.
Wow, that's great.
I know.
Yeah, you
Well,
know.
it'll be different this year, Mark. We're gonna have a minimum height requirement and
Yeah, holding a 2-year-old and flying an airplane with a transmitter in your left hand is a great experience. And I think the parents loved it as much as the kids.
yeah.
Great photo ops, and as we've talked about before, I always look for the kid that comes back 4 or 5 times. That's the one that I really want to. And every year, last 2 years, we've given that person an airplane, and try to put them in touch with people. So,
This is gonna be for the littler kids.
Make you big 1 second.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
When you pedal it, the prop turns. Control stick controls the steering wheel, the tail wheel.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's
Do you
very
have plans? Can I get plans that I can scale up on that, or?
Yeah. What is it? I forget the name of the company, but my buddy bought one, and he does the RV home built kits for Van's aircraft. So when the factory's not busy, they put those together. So he's got 6 more in the paint shop.
That's
Wow.
great.
Nice. Wow.
Oh, it looks like more fun than my my little 7-speed bicycle. I mean, what the heck? So
We'd have a little bit of trouble getting in that one. But yeah, it's gonna be
that one
for,
I would. Yes.
yeah,
You got it.
it's gonna be for
size, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be for photo op, and we're trying to, even though we have young kids come, the whole idea is educate parents and try to get people that have previously flown control line to let them know that it's out there, and but educate everybody
Yeah.
and stuff. And I go to a high school next month to do a presentation because they want to have aviation involved in their curriculum. And so the high school closest to me has an engineering program, and now other schools are trying to follow. But the whole idea is like I said, I show them model aviation and how much it's so close to real aircraft, and how, if you know this, you're way ahead of everybody else out there trying to pursue flying or maintenance and stuff. So I'll be, doing a high school next month in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. It's very well done, Ed.
What
Thank
kind
you.
of income can young people look at if they was to go into aviation? Those jobs you're talking about, Ed.
I'm sorry, say that again at the beginning.
What kind of medium income are we talking about? Those jobs. What kind of money those jobs pay?
Oh, wow. In fact, that's interesting. Let me see if I have it, because I do that. I show the parents, pilots, mechanics. What people don't realize, there's so many jobs that are non-pilot, non-mechanics that still need to be there to support. I might have copied it, but if not, I can get it. Yeah, I don't think I have it readily available, but I did do that specifically for my presentation and stuff. I start off with model airplanes and how people get into it from West Virginia that are famous, how people in the US that are very famous that are still in model aviation. And then we go into at the end about the jobs, and then we finish with the pay sheet on that. So I'll get that out there and stuff.
Wow, that's
So
that sounds like a very impressive presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a PowerPoint that a couple of us did together. And we just updated the pay scale because the airlines and the companies are just going crazy. I had one of my junior co-owners got offered $75,000 sign-on bonus to go back to the airlines and stuff. Oh yeah, it's we had a chief flight instructor who quit one of the big private jet companies to come back to set up a flight school. Well, they made him a $50,000 offer to come back to work for them. So it's just crazy what's going on out there. I mean, but you had a 30% rate stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but started off with me going to the Board of Education meeting, and they were talking about an engineering program. And after about an hour of it, I says, well, let me interrupt and explain to you that you're looking at a guy at age 6 started making model airplanes and stuff. And you need to get with the kids early on and, at any age and let them know what's out there. But most of these parents don't know either. So I suggested doing, these presentations, which actually Mark Radcliffe with District 3 also did a couple with me together at the beginning and stuff. And so that's what we've been trying to do and stuff and continue. But, even going back and getting with the clubs here, several of the RC clubs is like, I used to fly those. Well, it's like, well, let's start flying them again and stuff. So that's what we're working on. And I'm trying to get more to come out for the event.
That's great.
That's great.
That is great.
Yeah.
Let me welcome. I got your name is Ruben, but I know this is Stephen McBride. Hey,
Hello.
Stephen, how you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Doing well.
Thanks,
Glad to
Steve.
see you, Stephen.
Sure.
This is early for you. Maybe I was hoping I might see you in an after party. So that's great. See you this time of night. That's fantastic.
Yeah, a little on the early side.
Yeah. And let me welcome Philip Bailey. Hey, Philip, how you doing?
Doing great. Hope you are.
Doing
Philip.
well.
David, look at that.
I see
Oh
that.
my
Look at
goodness,
that.
look at this.
Let me see. Let me make
Make
it
that
big,
big.
Howard.
Make Howard big. There we go.
Very neat.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. Making the trophies for somebody for one of the contests, apparently.
Yeah, this cuts in. He's showing how it's cutting. That is awesome. That is great.
That is.
That is. That's cool. Hey, Charles,
Yeah, Mark.
can I take and just tell you guys what I did today?
Yeah, I'm curious what you did today. What did you do?
Well, I got with
What did you do?
Looks like you cleaned up. Oh, that was Howard.
that's the second thing I did. No, seriously. I got together with some friends, one of whom was Craig Gunder. And Craig is a top 20 guy at the NASA and trying to become a top 10 guy. And he's one of these, does aircraft restoration in his real life. And he's as good as you can find. His workmanship is just incredible. And he approaches stunt CLPA the same way. He talks about his engine programs, his airframe programs, and he has them. And his background, he grew up in Indiana, not far from Muncie. Danny, you know his brother.
Yeah, Todd up
And,
north.
And Craig used to race power boats, and he also raced Formula Ford open wheel cars, which are pretty quick.
Yeah.
150-mile-an-hour cars. He's driven at, I guess he's driven at Indy at the raceway. But he's been a competition flyer for a long time. Anyway, thanks to judging and a couple things that I've done in the last several years, he trusts me to some degree. And today was the first day we've worked together. And the program today, as he's preparing he's going to Triple Tree, he's going to Brodak, and of course he's going to NAVS, is that he came out with a 45-degree triangle made of plexiglass. Okay. And what we're trying to measure is he flying? Is he making his tops at 45 degrees? Is he doing his intersection at 45 degrees? So basically, I'm out there with this, triangle of sorts, kind of hitting the bottom of it level with the flying field, having the tip on his shoulder, and then trying to get the right perspective so I can capture the airplane. And it was really interesting. There are some. It's interesting because Dennis and Denny and Mark Gerber, Jim Hoffman spent a hell of a time redoing and simplifying and clearing up old-time OTS rules and judges guide. And he and I were out there. We know in different contests, if you fly 45-degree lines, you'll be downgraded because the judges think it's too low. A lot of guys fly 55 and 60. And you can see that by the size of the maneuvers. They're enormous. So he's always wanted to do it the right way, regardless of what the judges see. So I was looking at 45-degree maneuvers, and we did that maybe half a dozen flights. And he's really a good guy to work with, because if you tell him something, the next flight you'll see him correct it. It isn't like, what the hell do you know? You're stupid enough to run Pampa. How good could you possibly be at which is possible. But the funny thing is, I think I get as much out of it as he does.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. It's like judging at the Nats. You get a lot out of that. And so next week, he's going to build a second one. And of course, it's interesting because for me to do that, I have to be 90 degrees to his flight path so I can see the intersection. It gave me a good opportunity to see where he's crossing over in the overhead 8. And it's probably the maneuver he works on the most. He's a really good flyer. I'd say 85% of his maneuvers were within 2 degrees of 45. He was just nailing them. But I've always felt, anyone who's good and wants to be better is going to be better if they can get someone to if you can get someone to watch you who's honest with you and doesn't say you're the greatest flyer I've ever seen when you're not, and all of us are good guys, but I appreciate the opportunity. I'll probably never be the flyer he is, but he trusts my eye. So I would just encourage anyone who's not working with a coach who wants to get better to try that.
No.
Eddie.
Yeah, it's got to be about a year ago. Tryon suggested something I've never tried myself, but it seemed to make a lot of sense. He took and made one of those 45-degree triangles out of paper, hangs it from his upline or downline, upline. If he gets the 45 degrees, bottom of that triangle comes up to level. All right. You have to think your way through it. But the neat thing about that is, of course, the flyer gets instant feedback, and then you can still stand on the judging side of the circle and say, hey, that really looked good, or that was pretty consistent, and that 2 degrees. Well, it was a little tall, a little short, whatever.
Yeah.
I've never tried it, but I'm just curious, if Craig is focused on something like that, that might be something he tries. So
yeah, I'll be glad to mention it to him. And I just like his approach. If you're serious about, growing, you have to be serious about your practice.
Right. Oh, yeah. I think so, too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You happen to have that apparatus you described? You happen to have it, Andy?
No, that's Greg.
Plexiglass? Oh, it's Greg's. Okay. So what size?
I'm going to make one, and next week he's going to be making one, which is a little more difficult to measure the lines on the hourglass, because that's a maneuver that people make very narrow and very wide, and there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And we also want to check, is the intersection, halfway up, and is the top of it over his head? Because, he flew a couple of maneuvers there. I mean, I'm guilty of the same thing at a different level. And he swears, the backside of that horizontal 8 was way back behind him. When I'm looking at it, it wasn't. But the pilot's looking overhead and the blades went back here, and you just kind of feel that it's not. So I appreciate the fact that he's open enough to be coached.
Yeah, that's
not everyone will do that.
Right.
No.
Yes, that's
it was very enjoyable.
I'm just happy to hear somebody's flying. So
yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else do any flying or do anything in the shop?
Burning up a set of batteries count?
Yeah, that counts.
Oh, Lord.
What'd
Well,
you do?
I decided I was gonna run my new SV11. Make sure the motor turns in the right direction. Make sure the timer was, the RPM was up. So I got it running the right direction and then put a tack on it and 9,800 RPM. I figured that's a little quick, but I'll rather start a little quick than a little slow. And about that time, the motor starts slowing down. I said, uh-oh. So I pulled the plug out of it right quick. Too late. Batteries got too hot and cooked a brand new set of batteries. I got 4 flights on them. And don't do it. Just don't do it. It gets expensive quick. But anyway, other than that,
how long were you running that, Phil?
It ran for about a minute.
That's really crazy.
That's what I said. That's really crazy. When I went to put it back on the charger, it says the alarm goes off and it says something about wire cross match or something. And all the cells show 1.2, around 1.2 to 1.4. So they're, I mean 2.2 to 2.4. It really took it deep into it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it took it down that far that fast. That's what's got me puzzled.
Well, you might be able to really, really slow charge, just barely trickle it up at, was that one of the 2,800 packs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put it on at something like 0.5 amp or something like that. And
try that. Okay, I'll do that.
If you can't, and if it gives you the bad feedback, from the bounce plug, you might be able to charge it for about a half an hour or so at the low rate through just the battery plug, and don't do a bounce cycle on it. Some chargers will let you do that.
Yeah.
And it'll bring it up from 2.1 to maybe 3 or something like that. You might get into
maybe it'll take it from there.
And then
that's a good idea.
If you do that, try to slow charge it all the way up. Hopefully you can get it to where it bounces, take it all the way up, and then put it down the storage, bring it, do a few cycles on the ground and see if you can get it to where all the cells are playing nice with each other. And you might be
okay. I'll give that a try.
Get it back.
Very definitely worth a try. Good idea. Lordy, but that was, other than that, I got the SV11 finished. All the stuff's on the top, and the marker like this part on the bottom. It's got S11 on the other. So I'm heading in the right direction, Mark. I just not got there yet.
You are. If you could just get rid of that SV11, it would be okay. I'll send you a Pampa decal.
That's it.
Send me a set.
The other side needs to say King Mark. All right. So
okay, King Mark. Hail to the chief. Okay, I'll see what I can do about that.
That's it.
Anyway,
too. So
if after a practice flight, if it works out, I'm going to put. I've got a habit of, well, some people like it. I put a checkerboard from the leading edge. It comes back 3 panels here, and it gets bigger as it goes back. Right. Well, when it goes over the tail on the SV11, the tail's so long on the 11, there's going to be 3 checkerboards on each side of the elevator, 2 on the stabilizer and 1 on the elevator right in the middle. It's going to be a little strange, but it's where it worked out. So I've got the final cut to go on it. I just haven't put it on there yet. Frankly, after the battery, I just kind of got disheartened and decided that's enough. We'll put it up for right now. Charles has seen pictures of the plane, and it turned out pretty good. Tommy called me a pilot for it. Tom called me a pilot for it, and the canopy turned out, under the canopy turned out pretty good. My canopy looks milky, which is why I pulled the canopy off and did under it. Anyway, I thought I could clean it. It looked to me like it had soap on the underside of it, but I cleaned it and everything I could think of, and it's just got crap in the plastic. So I took it over to Tommy's, had him check it, look at it. And I said, well, I'll just dye it and see if I can't dye it and get it dark enough to where it'll look, you won't see that. He said, no, where those spots are in it, that won't take the dye as well. And it'll just look dark, light and dark speckled. He said, just put it on there like that. It's a plane. You're not going to push points for it anyway. Just put it on the plane and fly. That's what I'm going to do. But I did put a pilot under it. He's got a seat back, and I put a throttle and a throttle mixture and a handle for the canopy and a instrument panel on it that looked pretty neat. And
The guys like it anyway, the ones who have seen it. And
yeah, it looks good. I like your wheel pants too.
oh yeah, I figured I gave up on painting the SV11 plastic wheel pants. Don't even try to paint them. Just take you a little bit of trim monocoat and make you a design and put on it. And then the yellow line above it is just monocoat, trim coat that I've cut. And the bottom is a little strip of black that I cut. I'll show you all the plane next week. Right now I'm working on the basement and I couldn't get to it in the next 20 minutes if I tried. Anyway, put too much crap in between me and it. But it's I think it's gonna be a nice plane. We'll see. I hope it flies.
Yeah.
I was beginning to wonder if I should put the should have put the ESC on top of the batteries, but that's putting it up where the heat will be. I didn't want to do that. So I cut a hole in the bottom of the plane and put it down there, and it's got a panel it pulls off to get down there and work on it. We'll see next week. I'm gonna try to fly it Monday. It's supposed to rain here all day tomorrow, so I don't like to go out there on Sunday. There's too many crazies at Hobby Park on Sunday. But we're gonna try to fly. The guy said we'd fly either Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, I'll get back to something crazier note. For those of you that know Tom, today's his 81st birthday.
All right.
He and Charlie Reeves share a birthday. It's today, and Tommy's 81. I'm not sure how old Charlie is.
Mhm.
I think Charlie is a year older, but I'm not sure. But one of the things I was going to tell you about that triangle at Hobby Park, we have trees that come pretty close. But Tom goes out there before almost every flying session, and he'll go out there with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and he just sights that thing where it gets at dead level. Sometimes they get me to hold it dead level, and he'll look at 45 degrees, whichever way the wind's blowing, whichever way we think is going to be the predominant wind blowing. He'll look at the top of the trees right there to find 45 degrees. And then he'll fly and try to hit 45 degrees and come around. You can tell when he does it and when he don't do it, because when he don't do it, he misses 45 degrees by 5 or 10 degrees. But when he does it, that man's a machine. He nails you. But he's very good at this stuff, and he's taught a bunch of us a lot. I mean, an awful lot.
Yeah. I get a kick out of it, and I see or hear about people take an ARF or something like that and just dial it up a little bit. You know, it's just they just personalize it. I think that's really cool. So
it is.
Well, I dialed this one a little bit. I put a yellow stripe on the fuselage. I thought, listening to Trey, and he's always talking about make it cohesive, make it coherent, whatever, where it all goes together. And I thought there's a yellow stripe on the wing. There's a yellow stripe on the tail. There's no yellow on the fuselage. So I put one right behind the blue. And then I didn't like the way
the blue
looks
with yellow then.
Yeah, I've got a blue
trim with yellow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I put then I put down the top of it where the blue comes over the top. The lines didn't line up. So I got some trim coat and made a 1/4 inch black stripe and went up that all the way to the front. And then, is it 1/4? Anyway, it's a stripe. I don't remember how big it is. Seems like it's 1/4 inch. And then where the line kept bothering me, where it came down the canopy, behind the canopy, and it came down blue into white, So I put a 1/16 inch stripe on that. And then I kept looking at it. And I said, I'm going to put some yellow on it. So I tried to mimic that stripe, did it in yellow. And then, of course, I had to go a 32nd stripe around that in black just to make it all dialed up. So it's kind of dialed up. Then at the bottom, where the blue wraps under, I put a black stripe on that to make that line all line up. And the line didn't come all the way to the front. That drove me crazy. So I said, okay. So I made me a little blue semicircle and made that round like it's supposed to be, and then wrap the black around that. If you don't look too close where you can see the seams, it looks real, at 10 feet, it looks real good. Mm-hmm. Up close, you can see all the seams. And I mean, it's an ARF. So,
hey, the judge is going to be 150 feet away when he's looking at it.
Well, that's true, but I don't get appearance points for it. But
yeah, the judge,
I think it looks
in the air, the guy's going to be looking at all those stripes, and that's where they're going to pop. So
yeah, I think it's going to look neat. I started to break down a copy of Charles. Charles showed me the bottom of his airplane. It's just got stripes. It's so simple, and I thought that would look so neat in the air. Why didn't I think of that instead of all these checkerboards? But I've already got this cut. I'm not gonna waste all that vinyl. I'm gonna go ahead and use it. But Charles got me on this one.
I don't know. I think yours looks really good. And I don't know if I can show it if I on my phone any better, but unfortunately I haven't have a way to show them tonight other than this. I don't know.
Well, I'll show you the plane next week.
Yeah, well, that's not going to work, unfortunately.
Really.
I'll show you next week. It's
Yeah, it looks
I will show you hopefully, and won't see y'all Monday night. Hopefully I'll show you Monday night.
But I think that yellow is the cat's meow. I mean, that's the first thing I think I commented, the yellow stripe on the turtle deck. Because I was like,
it turned out pretty neat.
And
like, that was something that's something I can finally take credit for. I usually my wife or Tommy or somebody tells me, do this. But everybody was telling me do stripes or do something. And I said, no, I want to do this. I think this will look good. So I tried it. And once I put it on there, my wife said, hey, that looks better than what I came up with.
So I'm going to borrow that idea, Phil, on my.
Go for it. Go for it.
Thank you.
You know, the most tickled I've ever been at the Nationals. I went to the Nationals and Bob Hunt, I got out of the car and he had his new Mackie Lark there. And he had copied the paint job, or he said he'd copied it. I think he improved on it from my Stunt Wagon 60 on his Lark. And he says, yeah, I stole your paint job. I said, I'm tickled to death that you liked it enough to copy it.
Oh, I bet.
What's that thing they said? Imitation is a greatest form of flattery.
Yeah.
Well, I was flattered because he's one of my heroes. So,
yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Now I just got to get to do something that Dennis is willing to copy. I mean, I keep trying.
Yeah, keep trying. I have a comment from old control line pilot Bob Whitley up in Canada. He says, and he's also a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Bob. He says, like provided, and happy birthday, Gary. And one day belated, happy birthday to Gerald Wimmer. So happy birthday.
Gary's birthday too.
Yeah, Gary's birthday was Tuesday.
Happy belated birthday, Gary.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Indeed, indeed.
And happy birthday to you, Gerald. Gerald Wimmer out in New Zealand.
Yeah, happy birthday. It's already tomorrow there, I think. I don't know. Can't keep up with
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Oh, wait a minute. No.
I don't know. Well, he's 6 hours ahead. I mean, if he's ahead or behind us, I don't remember.
Yeah.
If I can get this thing to work. You know, they just updated my telephone again. And I was trying to come home today and was going to call my wife. I had to ask Siri to call my wife because I couldn't it wouldn't go through. That just aggravates the fool out of me when they do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now I can't you may not get a like from me tonight. I can't make this thing work. I don't know. I'll try again in a minute.
Well, thank you, Phil. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I get frustrated with technology sometimes. It's smarter than I am, and it ticks me off.
Hey, Charles, I think Howard had a finished product here a couple of minutes ago. We were kind of talking over the top of him there, but
let's see what happens when he comes back into the frame.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, I didn't ask you, Brad, but did you do any flying or building lately, Brad?
Was it Wednesday? We're all out at the field. We cut and rolled and flew and had a whole day out there.
That's great.
Is that the bean field?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Good deal.
Oh,
One of the 3 legal places to fly control line in Canada.
Exactly.
that's
We're
I'm
45 kilometers from the closest regulated airport out here. It's unlimited elevation for flying out here. So they had no reason to shut us down in the first place. We're only a control line club. We don't have any RPAS footprint at all. So it was a no-brainer for out here.
Yeah. Now, so what did you fly on Wednesday?
My old Pathfinder.
Ooh, nice.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Yeah, where's John Miller? This is not Monday night. This is Friday night. Where's John?
He probably got playing a gig tonight.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
I just can't fathom a place as big as Canada with 3 flying sites.
It's all politics.
Well, politics stinks.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big politics.
Oh, Howard's back.
I'll be honest with you, I'm so happy to be an AMA member. You guys, you might bitch about the AMA, but man, they're doing a great job compared to Mac. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Howard, we was curious, did you have a finished product you want to show us?
Yeah. I'll show you the finished product.
Show me the finished product.
Well,
Whoa.
Oh, that is sharp.
That looks
Excellent.
great. That looks really good.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Very nice, Howard. Very nice.
yeah, that's Jim Aaron did most of the graphics. Something it looked like it needed an artist's touch.
Mhm.
Yeah. He took over and spent a couple weeks on it.
That looks really nice. That
Good.
looks sharp.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah, but,
Cool.
well, everything looks great, but I love the logo there in the center, the skyline and the airplane
Oh.
over the top. That's really neat.
Yeah, that is nice.
Super 70s.
Wow, that's terrific.
Very neat.
Super 70s.
Good job,
That is
Howard.
very
That,
nice.
that looks beautiful. That looks really nice. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
Hey, what kind of wood is that? It looks like a nice tight green on that.
Alder.
Alder. Wow.
Al- Yeah, it's something that Eric Rule got.
It almost looks like it's like maple or something like that. It looks like it's a real smooth, close green and stuff.
Yeah, it's got a matte finish on it, lasers well.
Uh-huh.
So
Wow.
Okay, you laser it through a finish or then, and you know,
Yes.
you don't do the bare wood. Okay.
I put tape on it to keep it from messing up the finish, but
All right.
peel off the and it's pretty
That
good.
looks good.
Very neat.
Wow.
So you're gonna be laser cutting your kits from now on, huh? Cool deal.
Oh, I've been doing it for a couple of years.
Wow.
Mm. Very nice.
I thought you might be printing them by now, but can't decide whether to laser cut it or print it, huh? So
Now there's guys in the Czech Republic who are
yeah.
3D printing airplanes.
Mm.
Yeah. Igor knows. He said, yeah, they combat got tired of building airplanes, so they decided to print them.
Good grief.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll mute and make noise now.
All right. Thank you, Howard.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, Charles, is Jim Bornholt on? Is he in the chat room?
No.
I'll tell you
Not
one.
yet.
Not yet. One benefit, another benefit I found about being on this with you guys is Jim was apparently either on this or listening a week or so ago, and I was talking about Triple Tree, and since they charge to get in, I can't charge a fee to the guys flying in a contest. So it creates a little bit of an issue on how do you buy things you need for a contest. So yesterday in the mail, well, about 3 months ago, I got a check from Jim, who just a real nice note. And he said, I like what you're doing with Pampa, and I hope you can use this money. So it was a nice donation. And of course, I sent it to David. And this week, he sent me a check, another nice check, to help me with the contest at Triple Tree.
That's great.
That's awesome. He's had enough of his own issues, and he's coming to the Nats. He's bringing his old, who was it? Mackie plane, twin boom.
Carousel.
Yeah, carousel. And apparently Keith is on this. Keith's going to be bringing at least one, I guess, of his old airplanes, and I'm hoping we can also put them in the dining room for the banquet, so we can have a little show and tell, or at least people can look and see the wonderful craftsmanship, that these guys have. So it's a nice thing. Thanks for the opportunity, Charles.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoy it. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that. I really enjoy doing this.
Yeah. And Ed Waske has been the same kind of guy. So thank you, Ed.
Oh, welcome. And I'm more than happy
Thank you.
to help out.
You do.
So I have a
Sure.
comment from Len Burrell. He says, "Hey guys, like provided, not on tonight. Been sick."
No.
Well, I'm so sorry. I must have made you sick Monday night, Lynn. I was sick Monday. So
Don't do that, Lynn.
I hope he didn't catch what I've had. Oh my God.
Oh.
Tell them to come on in. We all got virus protection on our computers. So,
very good.
so,
And Phil,
I
I
like
see you
that.
gave us a like. Thank you, Phil. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. That's funny, Dennis.
hey, I think I see a big job.
Oh, you know what? Yes.
Yeah.
Let me make you big, Keith.
Okay, well.
Thank you for your patience, Keith.
I got the nose done and on last night.
Ah.
So I'm starting to, anyway, there's a nose on the thing.
Very nice.
And today cut out the fuselage and made a fuselage box.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
this has got the reinforcements in it.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we've talked about this before about this has got the bracing on the sides and top and bottom.
Yes,
And it's incredibly stiff.
I'll bet. Yeah.
That's
And
terrific.
Keith, was that top and bottom made from one piece or is that individual pieces?
What's that?
The top and bottom sheeting there, it looks like it. It's made out of different pieces. Okay.
Okay.
I thought
and
it was one. I thought
you got a top and a bottom, but basically you have a hollow tube then too, don't you? You don't
Yeah.
have any cross bulkheads in there.
There's nothing in the middle.
That's awesome.
wow. Very nice.
And
So,
I haven't
so
weighed
would
this thing.
this is be contest balsa also?
It is. I haven't weighed this, but it's not very much.
Mhm.
I'll go weigh it in a little bit, but this should get glued together tomorrow.
Oh, nice fit.
Nice.
Wow.
Good.
Man, look at that.
There we go.
Wow.
And it'll look like an airplane here before too long.
Yeah.
Boy, you
Wow.
do nice work.
You very much do nice work. Very pretty.
What's surprising to me about this big job in the construction, because of the short nose and all that, why the fuel tank goes all the way back into the wing here.
Mhm.
Right.
And you think, well, that's going to weaken the wing. It doesn't, because all the loads in the wing are carried by the top and bottom spars here.
Yeah.
Right.
All the sheeting does is just kind of provide a contour for the airfoil. But all the loads are carried by the top and bottom spars. And then when you cut the nose or center out of the wing like that, you think that's where's this going to get its strength? But the first chiseler or first big job we had lasted 15 years and never did get any fatigue cracks anywhere in the wing or nose around this spot. So somehow, well, this thing is all epoxied in with sandwich in between the ribs right in here.
Right.
And epoxy set last night, and now then I have a rigid nose.
So yeah, it's like you cut out that big notch in the leading edge, but you're filling it in with a reinforced box. And
Reinforced plywood box, yeah, because
yeah.
it's all
So it's
plywood.
like, yeah, it's I can
Very
see
nice.
you wouldn't lose a lot in the
The
translation
engine
there.
bearers
So.
here go all the way back.
Mhm.
Engine bearers go all the way back. You see it here,
Mhm.
and the box, well, underneath the tank, and you can't see it. But anyway, there's a box there between the engine bearers, and then that's filled up with spruce reinforcements.
Mhm.
Some people put solid balsa in between, but I think the spruce makes it stronger, even stronger than balsa would be.
Yeah, I would think
Then
so.
it's capped top and bottom with plywood on the
Yeah.
engine bearers.
How
So
much,
the
how much fuel do you carry with that?
Got a little over 4 ounce tank, and the engine uses about 3.5, a little over 3.5 ounces.
Okay, because it just doesn't, even with the cutout and everything, it just doesn't look like there's a lot of room to carry
There's
fuel in
not.
that
I
thing.
have to make a special tank, and
Uh-huh,
because of the space in there, the engine bearers are, engine sits about 3/16 of an inch above the bottom of the tank.
mm-hmm,
And
Okay.
so make a tank is a little bit deeper, it's like
Uh-huh,
an inch and a quarter
sure.
thick, rather than a normal 1 inch that these engines would sometimes use. So that gives me plenty of room then that I can vary the height of the engine to, or tank to
Mm.
trim the engine run.
And maybe electric proof. I don't think I could get a battery in that thing, so.
Not that. This box is what, about almost 2.25 inches wide.
Yeah,
Only
my
about,
batteries are normally about, what I'd expect to use, and that would be about 4.25 inches long.
and
Yeah,
this
boy,
tank,
that'd be snug in there.
this
Geez,
tank can't be more than about 4 inches long.
yeah. So, okay.
Probably get the motor and battery in, but I don't know where the heck you put the ESC and timer.
One
But-
problem at a time, Bill. So
But
Yeah.
landing
you
gear
gotta take a
platform-
number. So,
Landing gear
Yeah.
platforms there, and
yeah.
it's coming together.
I imagine,
Beautiful
Keith,
work.
that you've made so many of these, you know what the shim is for the fuel tank, and when it's at the flying field on your bench
Yeah,
initial flight, I imagine it runs perfect, right? Because you already have worked out the shims and all that for the fuel tank.
the last one, the one I just wrecked, I just lined up the fuel line with the needle valve, and it was dead on, inverted and upright. The first big job, I had to place all sorts of different shims, moving a 32nd or even a 64th would make a difference up and down.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
the neat thing about this box is that there's no hold down for the tank. It just goes in, and then you put the shims top and bottom. So, and shim on the sides, so it doesn't shake around and can't move.
Right.
Normally I have bolts that hold my tanks in place.
Yeah.
This one. It makes
Thing is nice.
all the vents and tubes from the tank have to come out the front of the
Right.
tank.
Okay.
I don't like that either, but you have to do that with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go weigh this thing, and I'll see what it weighs.
All righty.
I wonder how thick his fuselage sides are, but they didn't look like an 1/8. Looked like a 16th with that box inside it. But I don't know. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
He does do some pretty work.
You guys ever broken a fuselage like that, front and back, rather than cutting it out the bottom or out or something like that? You know
I've
what I
never
mean?
yeah,
done
I have.
that. The first time I saw that was when Sparky did it, and now I see Keith does it also.
Well, I've done it with the Humbug. Humbug goes together like that. And you have the benefits. You've already got the wing built, and you've got two booms coming back, and your tail's already mounted, so you got those straight. Then you got to take the fuselage and you put the nose on. Well, you've got the nose built, but you put the tail on and you've got to wiggle it in between, which is more difficult than it sounds. Get that in and get it straight. Then you get all that figured out, and then you have to I ended up just laying stuff on it. Then you have to put the nose on and figure out the balance point, because you have to shorten the nose until it balances. So that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun. It was different, but it ended up I only had to cut it one time, so it worked out well.
What'd
Keith's
you
back.
find out, Keith?
This is 30 grams. Just
Oh,
over
wow.
an ounce.
Grams. Wow, a little over an ounce.
Yeah.
Keith, what are those fuselages?
32nd.
Oh, okay, it's bigger than I thought it was, but not as big as I expected it to be. I thought it was 1/16, but it sure is light. Look at that nice wood. Look at the grain in that wood.
Yeah.
He's got he's
It's
been digging
beautiful.
into Bob Hunt's stash of wood.
Well, you'll have to see my stash of wood someday. I've got, those SIG boxes, where they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those.
They're what, so big square?
Yeah.
I've got 2 of those filled up with sheet balsa. And then I've got
Oh,
another one filled up with blocks.
oh my
Nice.
goodness.
Wow.
Nice.
Heath,
We've been at this for a while, so.
yeah. When are you not going to be home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with you, Mark. We'll split it up later.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tell you what.
So
Good
Keith, are the
gracious.
fuselage sides laminated as well?
No, what it is, there's all the bracing is quarter or 1/8 by quarter, the top and bottom, and on the
Right.
sides, it's got the same thing, 1/8 by quarter bracing. You can't see it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you
That's
can
why
see
I
it.
thought it might be laminated, because you have that and you have the fuselage sides. That's what I meant.
Well, but also, yeah, there's 1/8 inch quarter by 1/8 stringers, top and bottom, that ties into all the bracing.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the rounding on the bottom of it is just 1/8 inch sheet cross grain, but there's an extra 1/8 inch square triangular or triangle, 1/8 inch triangle inside there, so you can start rounding off the bottom a little bit more than just having a flat sheet, flat bottom.
And all
Very
that
nice.
is only 30 grams, you said?
30 grams, 30.6 grams.
Wow, that's a good job.
And like I say, this thing,
Oh, I bet you can't twist it.
It is stiff.
I bet.
Very nice. Very nice.
Do you ever
And-
have any trouble hitting your CG on it?
Well, I have a lot of weight in the nose.
Okay. Okay.
I'll have to go show you something.
Denny, what is the balance point? Does anybody remember what the balance point is supposed to be on the SV11?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm going to tell you, take a leap of faith on it. All the parts are in it. It's probably pliable where it's at. So
I think it probably is. It feels good, but
yeah.
I've gotten myself in trouble before because it felt good,
Yeah.
What motor you
Okay,
got? Always got
okay,
another one.
Yeah, I got another Double Star 60 loaned to me by Leroy Black. This used to be flown by Bob Whiteley. Anyway,
Oh, cool.
the big job originally had a long nose Fox 59 on it. So that's the shape of the nose and the cowl. In order to preserve that, going to have a long extension, which moves the engine back, which is not good. So I have some weight on the front of the propeller inside the spinner. And all that's not good because you have the extension and all the weight out here in front of the engine, and that's really not good for the bearings. But the first Double Star I had to change the bearings on it after about 15 years. And
That's not bad. 15 years. That's not
and
bad.
this one, anyway, this is a prop driver that Roy Trantham had made for me to match, so I could have the engine sitting back like that.
Hmm.
And there'll be nose rings. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be nose rings here in the front to get the contour all rounded off.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, Keith. That is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully it'll be looking like a real airplane in another week or so. Start detail, and maybe in the month of May, start painting. So it's possible to get this thing finished before July.
Good.
We'll see.
That would be a nice touch, maybe a little non-traditional to have it done in early and on, at a leisurely pace. So
Well,
you're
I've
not
got-
test flying
I'm
on the way
taking-
into town, but
I'm taking 2 scale airplanes and they need some refurbish. Go check the engines, make sure they run and they're clean and the tanks are clean, that sort of stuff. They've been hanging on the wall here for years and haven't been
Mhm.
around. So I need to
You,
get
you,
checked out.
you mean you're gonna have one done and it's not gonna be last minute? I don't know what that would be like.
Well, scale, I've got those done, but they just need to be set up to run.
Yeah, now my stuff, it seems like I can have a whole year to plan to have this airplane done for this contest. And I always seem to be 2 weeks before the contest, like the SV11, I wanted to have finished so I could take it down there. I kept telling Randy, I'm going to finish an SV11 as an SV11 instead of modifying it into something else one of these days. Well, I'm doing it with an ARF, but I'm going to take it down and show Randy that I did what I said I was going to do. I did finish one because the other one morphed into an SV23 and another one morphed into anyway, there's 3 of them downstairs. So I'm not flying the fuel ones much anymore, but I still wanted to get one done so that I could show Randy I did actually build an SV11.
Mhm.
I think he'll like it. He's a pretty neat dude anyway. A little crazy, but we all got to be a little bit crazy. I mean, grown men playing with toy airplanes. Come on.
It keeps you from going insane. So
That was my line, you rascal. I may be a little
great
crazy.
minds think alike, Philip. So
There you go. I've been saying that for a long time. I may be a little crazy, but it keeps me from going insane. That's it.
That's funny. So we have looks like we have 24 concurrent viewers. We have 0 chat revenue. Please consider supporting us with using the super chat or with the YouTube memberships. And don't forget just to simply subscribe to the channel. That won't cost you a penny, and neither does it cost you anything to hit the like button. So if you've been watching it up until now, I'm sure you probably like what you're watching. So please give us a like. Thank you. And this side, Jonathan Karadas is getting ready to join us from New Zealand.
that's it. Speaking of down under, we'll find out what day it is and what time of day. So
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It'll be Saturday.
It will
Saturday
be
late
Saturday.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Late
okay.
afternoon.
Well, he's making his way in here.
There he is.
Welcome, John. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah,
So Jonathan, what day is it there, Jonathan? Is it Saturday there already?
Yeah, we're miles ahead of you guys, mate. It's Saturday.
All right.
Yeah,
What time?
Sorry?
What time?
Right now, it's 3:18.
In the afternoon.
Yeah, we
Okay.
finished daylight saving, so yeah, everything's sort of a bit topsy-turvy this time of the year. I keep forgetting to come on, and you guys are probably nearly finished, have you?
No, we have another like 45 minutes, a little bit less than 45 minutes to go.
Oh, that's good.
And we
Oh,
still
yeah,
have the
yeah.
after party, Jonathan. There's always that too. I just
Oh,
end the
right.
I end the live stream, but I'm gonna continue on. And you see this curtain behind me?
Yes.
I move the curtains back, and then the girls come out. So.
As long as you don't bring out that Moriarty or whatever it is on his plastic aeroplane, I'll be right. Gerald said thank you. I just spoke to him on the phone.
Great.
Because I saw you on my mobile, you were up and running. So I gave him a phone and I said, the guys over in America are wishing you happy birthday. And it was yesterday for him.
Mhm.
But he's been as crook as a dog, but he still managed to get a bit of flying done the other day. Yesterday, I think it was, he got a few flights in. And the whole family have been crook, but he's coming right now.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So Mark and Otto, Max and Otto didn't fly. They were sick.
No, they flew because they had it before him. The rest of the family are pretty much over it now.
Okay.
and he's still coming out of it. But it's not COVID. It's just some horrible, nasty thing, probably imported from Australia. Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan,
Yes.
since you're so many hours ahead of us, is there anything we should know before
Yeah,
3 o'clock tomorrow?
before tomorrow. Yeah, before
Yeah.
midnight.
Well, I haven't seen any Chinese frigates going up the
There you go.
Pacific coast yet, so I think we've got another 24 hours at least. Maybe not much more.
All
Well,
right.
if there's any bad news waiting for us tomorrow, I think that's what Mark was worried about.
Yeah.
We don't need any more bad news for tomorrow. So
No, well, it's quite funny from here. You were talking about timelines and things. Sometimes people from here, they go up the time, they fly across in a jet, cross the timeline, which is only about a couple of hundred Ks out that way. And they zigzag backwards and forwards on New Year's Eve and all this sort of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether they end up any younger or not, but certainly worse than wear for booze, probably. Yeah. So what are you guys up to? Been doing
Staying
any flying?
alive. Yeah. Maybe
I
you're a
tried
lover, maybe you
I tried to go flying today, but I was ready to let my plane out, and my co-pilot signaled me to come back, and my engine was getting loose on the airplane, so I had to squeeze off the fuel line and call it a day. So I went out there to go fly, but I mean, at the very last moment, before I was going to signal the guy to let go of the plane, he noticed that the engine was getting loose.
Hey,
well,
Charles, when are you
go
gonna
as far
fly
as-
at fly-in next week then?
I don't know. If I don't have a plane, that's okay. I told Carl and Joe Mata, we're gonna have fun no matter what, even if I don't have a plane. So, yeah, I got so many planes that I would need to work on to fix. It's just kind of frustrating. I gotta pick which one. I got so many that I could just invest in, and it's like, what you gonna do? I'll figure something out, but I might not have a plane next weekend.
Yeah, I gotta go, guys. We'll see you later.
All right, hey, thanks, Keith.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming
Good
in.
night.
Okay.
Cheers.
Gee, I enjoyed looking at his model. I saw it briefly. His Messerschmitt, mothership guiding that Junkers, that experimental Junkers the Germans used a couple of times. Gosh, he makes a nice job of his planes, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's national champion scale builder as well as a national champion stunt flyer. And so, yeah, he's got a habit of gathering those championships up. So.
Yes. Makes a beautiful
What
job.
does Stewart have there? I think Stewart has an R, it looks like.
Yeah.
He's muted, but what's he got there? He has a Nobler.
Woohoo!
Oh,
I just saw the N-O. Nobler, very good. Hey, that's a good catch. That's a good
What motor are you putting in it?
You're muted,
You're muted.
Stewart.
Yeah, I was gonna put a LA 46 in it.
You can't go wrong. More
Um,
power than a 40 and lighter, and uses less fuel.
Okay.
That's a great choice for it. I had mine. It worked great.
Mike Lonkey says that works good with a Fox 35, believe it or not.
It does. That plane flies great with a Fox 25. I mean, not a Fox, an OS LA 25.
Really?
Flies great with an OS LA. That's what I had in mind initially, OS LA 25. And I thought Kent Tyser was going to have a heart attack. Oh, that's not big enough. That's not big enough. Heck, it's more power than a Fox 35. So I ended up taking that out and putting the LA 46 in it. And I was always happy with it, but I thought it flew better with the 25 than it ever did with the 46. But
Yeah, a friend
Really?
of mine in Indy did that. He had a LA 46 in one and seemed to fly well, but the engine combination, the engine was heavy, needed tail weight in it and everything like that. So overall the airplane got a little heavy and it did it at both ends. And then
Yeah.
later on, he got an old Fox 35 from Jack Sheets that seemed to run pretty darn, pardon the understatement. He put that in it and he was able to take all the tail weight out and everything like that. And the airplane just kind of came alive, It had
Mhm.
less power, but the total package was an improvement. So.
Well, I challenge anybody to take a Fox 35 out, put an OS 25 FP or LA in it, and you will notice that you have more power. You don't have any burp, and it just flies great.
Huh. Well, that's interesting because Joe Mata, who's listening, and he got a new. He bought that same thing that Stewart has. He bought a Top Flight Nobler RF at the Las Vegas Challenge.
Terrific.
I think it was Jim Rhodes was helping some widow with some of the airplane kits, and he got a good deal.
Well, I tell you what, they're good little airplanes. I mean, they're not great, but they're good airplanes. The only thing wrong with those planes is they put so much plywood in the center of them, they get heavy.
Yeah, I have a comment from Al Fierro. He says the best engine for the Nobler is a Brodak 40.
Well, that would be, yeah, because that's just an improved Fox 35, which is what it was designed for.
I thought it was Al. It actually published published in Stunthangar. I thought he had a successful conversion with an LA 25 too. It might have been somebody else. I was about to drop his name on that, but
I don't know.
I agree with him. A Brodak 40 would be a nice choice.
It would. That's a good engine. Weighs about what a Fox does and has more power.
Yeah.
But I still love the 25. If I were doing it again, and going to go glow, which I have a new one, but it's electric. If I were going to go glow again, it would have an OS 25 FP in it. Because I just happen to have a Dixon modified one that runs like a top.
When you build those, was there anything you ran into, any problems, or were they pretty straightforward?
The only thing I changed, I put a line slider in mine. I put a weight box in it. I don't think I'd do that again. The other one, the first one, was straight out of the box. And the only thing I changed, I put different flaps. I put new flaps on it because I thought my flaps were kind of punky. I mean, they just were really twisty. And I couldn't stiffen up the monocoat enough to make them stiff. So I went with a newer flap, put new flaps on it. And I changed the lead out wire. That lead out wire had so many kinks in it from the factory. It was ridiculous. So I put solids in mine. But those two things is all I changed in it. And I won two pretty good contests with that one.
Those are all right. I also would gusset the engine bearers. I gusseted mine.
I did that too.
With some triangular stock.
I did that too. You're right. You got to do that.
What's that you're doing? Everybody didn't quite catch what you said.
So you kind of reinforce the engine bearers. You put like a triangle stock between the few sides and the engine bearers. You put like a triangle there. You want to just solidify that engine bearer because they just put in with hot glue.
Yeah, really.
So up near the front of the fuselage, though.
Yeah, and a round 4-ounce tank that's all you need.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would also change the flap horn and elevator horn because I've had like 3 or 4 of those, and I had any hardware in there, forget it. Just like
throw it away.
Even the blind nuts. Don't use anything if you want it to last, a long time. Just do not use any of it. Just buy some Sullivan, Dubro, or some other commercial stuff. Don't use anything in there.
I used to
put the triangular part in here.
Yeah, so you want to carry the load on that firewall all the way to the end or close to the end of that engine bearers. Not to the end, but you want to support it.
You're saying,
let me make it big here.
Run it here?
Hang on 1 second.
Like here?
So that, how am I going to explain it? We see how the
Mount
fuselage sight, any firewall, and engine bearer. You want all glue joint.
Right along here.
Yeah, there and the engine bearer itself.
When you
Triangular,
Did you,
triangular.
did you have
Go
like a plywood triangle glued on that? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I had
There we go.
a plywood triangle that actually touched the fuselage side, the firewall, and the engine bearer.
The motor mount there.
Great
Where
big
it sticks
gusset.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
runs
saying,
through-
you're not saying double this up. You're saying use like a triangular stock of balsa.
No, I use
No.
plywood.
1/8" plywood and go
plate.
from the bottom of the fuselage to as far out on that motor bearer as you can go. Once you put your motor in there, of course, that's going to take up some of it, but come beside where the motor goes and back down as far as you
I
can.
think I know. what
Because
you
right
mean.
now your motor mounts
You're
right here
saying
in the
come down
wind.
here and go back, and then come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
From the end of the motor mounts back to the
Yeah,
bottom of the fuselage. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean then. In other words, come up like this.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
There you
But
go.
you're going to have to remove some of it to allow spacing for,
The
the
motor.
muffler or what other stuff.
Yeah. I'll figure
So-
out where the engine's going, and then I'll look at putting it in extra. Once I know where the engine is and stuff. Okay. Those are good things to know because that might help.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
as you get better and better, your planes are going to last longer and longer. So you want to be able to enjoy flying them for for
Good while.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep flying the beaters for a bit until I can get the so I can get through the pattern good on a consistent basis before I get into something better.
Yeah. So just to emphasize, do not use those clevises. Those clevises are a
No.
piece of junk.
Boy, are they ever.
You follow me, Stuart?
Oh yeah, okay, yep.
That pin on the clevis, it just breaks off.
They are junk.
I lost my
okay.
very best top flight Nobler ARF. I had one that was just absolutely would turn flat out of a reverse wing over and just out of squares, would just be flat, no bobble, just a beautiful plane. And overhead, I was doing my overhead 8s. Right at the intersection, that clevis broke and I lost control of the plane. It went right the other side, straight in full speed. And it was just, it was a spectacular crash. Of course, I was the only one there, but I was like, oh my God, what happened? I had no control. And when I found it, the clevis pin broke.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuart, if you throw out the hardware and then build a new wing and fuselage, you're going to like it.
I'll send you the spare parts.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
there we
Lord.
go.
That's funny, Mark.
Lord.
Oh, that's funny. That's
And you could build them for me. Okay, I'll get rid of the junk.
yeah, it's junk. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's.
Yeah.
I imagine the plane would last 50 flights if you didn't change the gear, the stuff.
Now,
Maybe.
what about the? Let me grab a pair of scissors here.
You got to realize anybody that builds a kit and puts the engine bearers and the doublers and everything together with hot glue is not exactly going to put the greatest hardware and all in that plane because they don't figure it's going to last anyway.
This looks like it's built okay for the flaps.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It looks like they
I don't think so. I had the same thing in my top flight score, and that upright fractured off.
Oh, really? So you're saying I should replace this too?
Yeah.
Like ALL, all of it.
Okay.
If you want the plane to be around for years and years to
Yeah,
come.
no, I know what you're saying. I mean, that's why I asked about all this because I thought, who knows? Some of this stuff, I know they don't put good parts in some of this stuff. I've seen stuff that's.
It looks good. It just doesn't hold up.
Stuff that's not anything great.
Some of the Oki Air stuff, I mean, I know it's pricey, $10 a horn, but it's worth it. It works and it lasts.
Okay.
So I
We do not-
I think we took all the enjoyment out of Stuart.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
I'm
you came
sorry.
on.
I'd
I
rather
wanna buy
take it
an
out
older-
now than,
Well, when you told him to throw out the wing and the fuselage and build new, I think that kind of that deflated the balloon. So
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
told him, the only thing he could salvage was the decal, but
Now the box looks nice.
Did
Yeah.
you replace the bell crank too?
Yes, I did. Now I put a 4-inch bell crank in mine.
Okay.
Now I want to say something because we have all different type of people watching our show, and so when I'm saying this, like replace all the hardware, and if you bought the plane and you like it and you've always dreamed of a nobler, go ahead and build it just the way it is and enjoy flying it. I like to compete. I like planes to last for a long, long time. So that's kind of where my bias is from. I want it to be very rigid, but I don't want to rob or deprive anybody who's listening to our show thinking you have to do all that stuff. You don't have to do that. You can build it the way it is and enjoy it. You probably have a blast and have lots of fun.
I like the bulletproof controls too. They hold up. And once you get to flying that plane, you're going to want to fly it a lot. Everybody tells me that plane is the Nobler is so ugly. It's so blasé. It's so, if it's so bad, why has it been why has it held up for so many years? And why is it the standard everything else is judged by? It's a great airplane.
One last thing, if we have beginners or newbies or people that are not all that well experienced, for us to say to replace the bell crank, I mean, that's a pretty daunting thing. I want to be sensitive to those that are listening. I mean, to cut into a center section and change the bell crank, I know we make it sound like it's no big deal. So I want to let people know that, hey, you don't have to do all that.
The hole's already there.
Yeah, okay.
It's a pretty good size hole.
All right, cool.
If you have to do something, if you have to cut something like a spar or something, cut it. Do what you need to do and just brace it back and put a little plywood bracing on the side of the thing and use epoxy. Let it dry good. Take your time and do it right. Trust me, there's enough plywood in the bottom of that wing. You probably don't even need the spars. But I put them back in. I put mine back anyway. But I had quite a few flights on my first one when I nicked a prop on a takeoff and didn't realize I'd nicked it, pulled up into a wing over, and I kept thinking, that thing looks like it's getting closer. And it got to the other end of the lines and pow! And the bad thing was I didn't even need to make the flight. I was 30 points ahead. I didn't even need to fly, but I didn't know it.
Well, thanks. That's good.
You're welcome.
They're
Let me
great flying
welcome
airplanes. You'll love it.
welcome Tom Ramley. Hey, Tom, thanks for coming in. Thank you so much for giving us
Charles, hey guys.
likes.
Hey,
Give us
Tom,
all
good
the
to see you,
likes,
buddy.
And you don't come in all the time, but thank you so much for that. And Caffeine's here. Thank you, Caffeine. How you doing?
Good. Hi guys. How are you guys doing?
How you
Doing
doing?
good. Doing good.
Good.
I'm jealous.
And
It's
Mark-
sunny where he is.
And Mark Goober had to go, so he's not here. And what do you got to show us there, Tom? I'll make you
I don't
big.
think I can get back far enough to show the
Yeah.
whole
What in the
thing.
world? What is
Wow.
this, a dirigible?
Fuselage for the C-47.
All right.
Wow.
I finally got started on that.
Wow.
that's
Well,
right.
he'll-
You had the wing about a year ago.
Yeah, I know. The wing was done a long time ago.
Oh my. Okay.
when are you gonna have the
I had,
fuselage
I had
done, Monday?
robotics came in between there, so
Yeah. I like that
Very
thing
good.
behind you.
Well,
I like
tell,
that
tell,
big blue
tell
thing
your
behind you.
kids they got to build an airplane building robot next time. So
Yeah. Instead of one that's supposed to pummel the heck out of another robot, build one that'll
Yeah.
build something.
yeah.
well, we don't do that. We compete with on a playing field, kind of like a basketball game, sort of, where there are 3 robots that compete against 3 other robots.
What do they do?
This year we had to pick up cones, kind of like a traffic cone, and set it on a post, on several posts. And the other game piece was a cube, about a 9-inch square cube that we had to pick up and put on a shelf.
That's not so
And then
bad.
at the end, the robots had to balance on a like a teeter-totter thing,
Oh,
where they
Lord.
had to
Okay.
drive up and balance.
Wow.
You had to
we
make it
had-
challenging, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a gyro in our robot so that it could sense where the balancing point was.
How'd you do in competition?
We came in second place out of 60 teams, 60 schools.
60.
And
Wow.
we did qualify to go to state, which hasn't happened yet, but we did not qualify to go to the Worlds.
Oh, shoot.
But the 2 years in a row we qualified for Worlds, so they made it a little tougher this year, so that's okay. We did well.
Well, congratulations for that. That's neat.
Thank you.
Sounds like a good challenge.
It was.
I have some more comments in the chat box. Alfiero says, yes, I have a LA 25 Nobler. And then he goes on, then John Skukalek, he says, also a member of our channel, thank you. He says, does anybody know how the Brodak 25 compares to the OS or LA 25? Comparable power or not? Anybody know in here?
They're not of the three, the FP, the LA, and the Brodak. That's the way they stack up in power. But as far as manners, the Brodak's as good as any of them. They're all three competitive motors. They're all three very, very good motors. I have an FP on my Ringmaster that I'm competing with right now. But if I ever get this Brodak broke in, it's going to have a Brodak on it, because the ones I've seen flying, two of the local guys have them flying, and they just have excellent manners. If you have a plane that really needs all the grunt you can get, go with the OS. But if you got something like a Ringmaster that is not that heavy and you just want something really good, 25 that starts easy, runs well, get good, excellent fuel economy, get the Brodak.
Thank you, Phil.
I have two of them. I have two Brodak 25s. I like to run one and have a spare, but I have two, and I wouldn't have bought a second one if the first one didn't intrigue me as to how well it ran. I'm cheap.
So as far as weight, which one is heavier or lighter?
I haven't really checked that. I think the LA is probably the lightest, but we're talking about just a few grams between the three of them. I don't think any of them is portly. They're all pretty lightweight motors.
So they would all use the same prop, or would one?
Oh yeah. They all run the same prop. They'll all run on a 9.6, or I fly mine. I shouldn't say this. I fly them on either a 9.6 or a 10.4. And if it's a heavy airplane like they're on the Ringmaster, I used a 10.4. And that was not an original idea. Dave Hemstrop came to Charlotte with a Nobler like that with a 25 in it. And I asked him about it. He says it's 10.4. It's on 10% nitro, and it works just fine. He said it's got more power than a Fox 35, better manners. And with a 10.4 prop, you can let the thing wind where it's making all the power it wants to make. You don't have to worry about getting somebody to rebuild the motor. It's a stock motor. Take it out and fly it and enjoy it. So I did, and I would do it again.
Very good, thank you. I actually have a LA 25 and FB 25, these OS engines, but I salivate looking at Carl Reed's Brodak 25 when it runs. I don't have one.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't have one, but it's like, man, I want to get one. But
they run sweet.
Get one, they're not available, seems like. You know,
It's in spells. It runs in spells. Just keep watching. They'll come out. Well, I mean, they'll have them again. At least that's what, when I called up there and asked about it a week or two ago, they said they were hoping to have some in shortly, but they don't have any right now.
Okay.
But you see them on Brodak. I mean, Brodak. You see them on eBay and you see them at the sales. You'll find them.
I definitely want to get some Brodak 25. So let me go on to read Terry Mitchell. He says, I fly one. This is regarding the Nobler, the Top Flight Nobler ARF. He goes, I fly one with the Tower Hobby 40 reworked. The Tower 40 is a good motor.
It's an excellent motor.
That is a good motor. So, and then he goes on to say, Northwest Regionals next month in Roseburg, Oregon. Paul Walker is the stunt ED. Yeah, that is one of my bucket list contests I want to go to. I haven't made it there yet, but I want to go to the Northwestern Regionals. It's a good contest. And like
is that the one in Escondido?
No,
where's that one?
Up in Oregon.
Oh,
Roseburg, Oregon. Yeah, so
that's a good
I want to
trip
go there.
for you.
It's a good. I hear nothing but good things about that contest. I know Howard could speak about it. He goes, "You go to that contest, right, Howard? You go to the Northwestern Regionals." You're still muted.
There, yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, good contest. Weather is a little substandard sometimes, but it's a scenic trip from Los Angeles or from Las Vegas. I sent Stephen instructions on how to get there to pick up his trophies.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So I hope to get there someday. Have not been there yet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So right now it's 8:47. We're gonna shut down the live stream in like 12 minutes or 13 minutes. But Caffeine, what up to, Caffeine?
Fell asleep. He looks like he is. Not moving.
I figured he had something to say. Usually he does.
He's left an avatar.
Yes, that's what we're looking at, his avatar.
He was having trouble with his engine bearers.
Yeah, and me too. I went out to the flying field today, Jonathan, and it's a Brodak P40 ARF, so, and that it was given to me minus the engine, and yeah, my engine bearer started to come apart. So I feel your pain, Caffeine.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, they're screaming around at about 10,000 revs and probably producing about a horsepower. So, if they're not bolted down, they're going to play up.
Yeah, I don't think the engine bearers on the P40 go back to the high point of the wing. I know they're probably just like 2, 3 inches, maybe 3 inches long.
Right.
So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it aside. The time invested to fix that, I could finish my SV11 or even make progress on Precious Balsa. And so I even have a Pathfinder ARF. I could probably put that together to go to the contest next week. So yeah, so I'll get to it.
You know you want to finish that SV11.
Yeah, that's true.
You know you do.
I do. I got to. That was my best flying plane that I can remember that I had. I mean, Sparky's Juno, I think, flew a pretty good plane, but that SV11 was a good flying plane. And so, yeah, I got to
see if I can't get in touch with Sparky tomorrow. I was hoping he's going to be on tonight, but I'm going to try to call him tomorrow.
Sparky's really busy building his shop. You know that, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I've been watching his
Yeah,
progress.
Tim.
What happened there? You have any idea?
No, I mean, I tune in very little, so I don't know. But yeah, you
Well, that was
want
a
to
pretty
ask
good
him.
sized move. That was a big move, and giving up flying with John and moving all the way back home. I mean,
That was just, I'm sure Sparky won't mind. I'm just repeating what he said. Sparky worked for a gentleman that he used to build planes for, and then that gentleman passed away.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
Sparky continued on another, I think, couple years, and so Sparky felt, he did them well, and it was time to leave.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
going back,
I didn't know that he stayed with that company. I thought he had left.
I'm trying to remember the gentleman who passed away. That's a shame. I can't remember his name. I met him at the Nats.
Yeah, I did
Jerry.
too. He had
Jerry. I think it was Jerry. Jerry Ruff or Huff. Not Huff.
Huff.
Not Jerry.
He's the one that bought Bob's second wind, or I think it was second wind. His twin had retracts, and man, that was a pretty airplane.
Yeah. So it was Jerry, but I don't remember the last name for sure.
I can't remember it either for sure.
Yeah. But anyways, so he worked for him, and then he passed away. Jeff did, and then he's stuck on and continued to work 2 more years there. So he thinks he did well for that company. So
yeah.
So now he's back home. Now he's back home, and I think he will go back and forth, but not quite the frequency that he used to. He will go back there. I'm sure him and John Jordan have became pretty good friends too. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hope to see both of them at the Nats this year. They're a couple of neat guys.
Yeah. Well, I know that Sparky's going to start working on that Magnum and get that ready for Brodak. Last time I watched his show, that's what he said. He talked about having to get that Magnum done within a month or in a month and to be ready for Brodak's. But he has to finish this garage first before he does that. So.
He said he's had to do most of it himself. Most of the garage work.
Yeah.
Always draining. When you're trying to do it on your own. It's a pity some of us didn't live a bit closer. We could have given him a hand.
Yeah.
It looks pretty close to being done.
Yeah. But yeah, he's doing a good job. He definitely, and with his shop, he'd be doing some carpentry and cabinet making, and then also building planes. So he's gonna be doing both of them once he gets his system going. That's what he's gonna be doing, I understand. There was something in the chat box that I didn't, I saw it. Oh, this is Terry Mitchell. His first comment was, "Hey guys, I think this is awesome and love all the humor and ideas and comments. Thank you." So thank you guys. So I think that's what the Hangout is all about, is us, talking about model airplanes, making fun of each other, having fun with each other, and sharing ideas and learning. And it's been great. I've been enjoying hosting this now for almost 3 years, and I've learned so much myself. I know other people have learned too. You just can't help it. So anyways, I'm going to end the live stream, and we will be back Monday, but we're not going away. I'm just going to end the live stream. We're going to have what I call the after party, where it's not televised. I remove the curtain back here, and the girls come out, and we have fun. So I'm just kidding. There's no good. There's no good. But thank you very much for hanging out with us and sharing what you've been doing and flying and what you've been doing in your shop. And hopefully you have a chance to do that this weekend and come back and tell us all about it Monday. So until then, fair